Petagam once again. I'm really happy to meet you all. It's Navarathiri. Have you guys gone to temple? I am going, so I'm really excited. So today my video is going to be about something called Kolu. If you searched, googled, YouTubed anything about Navarathiri, you would have been super familiar with this word called Kolu. So we have already seen about Navarathiri A to Z in detail. If you have not seen it, don't worry, I'll leave a link below down in my description box. I made that video last year, so this year I didn't want to repeat it again and bore you all. So I was thinking about it, and then I thought like, yeah, I should talk about Kolu, because even if you walk out on the street nowadays in Tamil, in Indian streets, you can see all cute dolls, people making structures to have this staircase, their house, to make good kolus. All the newspaper probably already started competition over like which house has the biggest kolu, the most, like more the dolls merrier it gets, stuff like that, and people are getting really into this kolu thingy. So I was thinking like, let's talk about Kolu. What does this Kolu actually means? So first, Kolu, the word itself in Tamil, it is used during the king period, you know, like way back during the Sangam literature or something like that, when war was happening. So Kolu, they say Arasu Kolu Veettirithal, where like kings, they go, definitely the war was outside the country, not within, so like they go to this common ground and they make this camp and they reside there temporarily. They get updates about the war, they do their plannings where the ministers all come and they sit there and they do planning about the future undertaking towards the war. They know the status of the country, how the country has been running and all, how's the people and everything. So it's temporarily somebody, basically the king, go and reside in a place to fight with the enemy. So that's the place, right? So that's mean Kolu. So why did they use this Kolu term in Navarathiri? So this leads us to a small recap about Navarathiri, which we have to go back to the old video. So let me put it in a very summarized form here. Basically, Navarathiri is the Supreme Being. Saivism believes that the Supreme Being doesn't have form, and the Supreme Being and His grace. The grace, when you say grace in among Tamils, they immediately give you the form of Mother Goddess, because grace is love, grace is the energy, the kinetic energy which moves and does something for you. So they gave the form of Mother Goddess. So for Navarathiri, that's why we see out of the blue moon we only have all the ladies conquering all 9 days, right? So we just symbolizes the Mother Goddess. God's grace comes as Mother Goddess, and she evolves. She comes as Durga, she comes as Lakshmi, then she comes as Saraswati. If you want to know why she is taking these 3 forms, go back to my own video. I'm not going to talk about it here. So she takes all these 3 forms and she basically fights against Asuran, who is called as buffalo head Asuran. Simply Asuran means the ignorance within ourselves, ignorance which has been like bonded with the souls. So this Kolu is when the kinetic energy, the Supreme Being is considered as potential energy. For example, I'm just making my own examples here, so don't hold on to it, just for your understanding. So he comes as the kinetic energy to move, to fight against this ignorance. When he comes, he resides. They just simply create that in this 9 day God comes and resides. It's a hub. He stays there for this 9 day, particularly to fight our ignorance. Is that how it's actually happening? No guys, every day God's been like, He's with me, within us, within you, within every soul, every single second, every single millisecond. He's just going to be beside us, together with us. He's been fighting with our ignorance every single day. So it's not really like only in this 9 days he's gonna do that. It's just for us to think about it, to remind ourselves, God is doing it. Please, knock, look. Like that, right? To acknowledge, to remind us about it, to bring a prominence there, to give an emphasis and focus, to create the focus there, to remind our mind that God is doing so. So that's why they say it's Kolu. God came and He resides temporarily there to fight the war, to solve the war. He's going to fight against our ignorance. That's what this Kolu means. So things in this Kolu, 2 main things that you see. One is stairs, another thing is the toys or the the dolls that you keep, the cute ones. So the first thing we're going to see is stairs. If you see stairs, you already know it is like pyramid, so it has different levels. So the stairs basically reminds that God, he is the supreme being. Under his kingdom, all the living being is under his kingdom. That's all it reminds us. Okay, that's the idea of Kolu. And it also says the supreme being comes in different levels. He simplifies himself into different levels according to the ability of the soul to understand him. That is the second thing you can think about. So now let's look into how many steps, why are there so many steps, how do we create the steps, how many steps we should put. So what we can see, the pattern goes like this. We start from 3, then 5 stairs, 7 stairs, 9 stairs, and it goes on. So we only follow odd number stairs. So the first we can go to the 3 stairs. 3 stairs represent 3 worlds. There are different worlds in Saivism. We don't only believe planet of Earth. In this universe, there's so many worlds under God's creation. So all this world can be summarized in, categorized into 3. So all living being in this 3 world, God comes during this 9 day, God comes and resides, and Shivam fights with ignorance within every single living being. How many of them? And in one point, Saivism quotes that there is 8.4 million species and more. So there's a lot. There are different worlds, and God is residing, and he is coming, and he's actually taking care of all the living beings in all the worlds. That's what it says. Other 3 things you can also see is like philosophically, we also remind ourselves there's 3 eternal truth in Saivism, which is Padi, Pasu, Pasam. Padi means God, the supreme being. Pasu is we, our soul, and Pasam is ignorance, which is the bondage which is attached to the souls. So we remind ourselves, we try to learn about it. We should gain knowledge. We should know who is the supreme being. We should know who we are, our strength and weakness, and we also know what is the bondage, what is the ignorance, what is ability, what it can do to us, and how we should get rid of it. All these 3. So during this day, we remind that, we tell ourselves God comes in all the world, and he resides, and he helps every living being, including me, to know what? These 3 truths. Okay, that's that. And then the next type of steps is 5 steps. 5 steps is few things we can think about. The first thing is the Panchabhutam, 5 element. The soil, fire, water, air, and space. These are like 5 elements stated in Saivism. So all these 5 elements actually got in Siddhanta Saivam. If you learn Sivajnana Bodham text and stuff, we will learn that God actually created this world for us to understand the 3 eternal truth using these 5 elements. So our body is made out of 5 elements. The soil, we can see water and everything, all these combined together is this entire world. With this world, with these worldly items, that's when we feed our ego and we feed our ignorance. So when you have 5 stairs, we remind ourselves God created this, he's preserving it for some time, and one day he'll just take it off, and he will bless us with great bliss for us to understand these 3 eternal things. And that it goes to the next thing. We also see 5 things that God do. We will see it in other video in depth. The main 3 thing is God creates, he saves, he preserves, and then he destructs, right? And he also blesses, and we also see Maraital. Now I can't remember it in English. So these 5 things that God do. So we remind ourselves God does these 5 cosmic things for us in order for us to get rid of that Anavam or the internal ignorance. So that's 5 stairs. Then we have 7 stairs. 7 stairs reminds us of 7 worlds. You remember the 3 worlds I was saying? That is summarized version. When you described it in detail, we also have like 7 types of world. So God resides in all 7 type of world. It's all within him, and he blesses, he comes and he fights with the ignorance with every single living being in all these 7 worlds. The second 7 things that we think about is the 7 type of body God gives us according to Saivism. In Siva Purana we say Kallai, Manidarai, Peyai, Ganangalai, Vallasuraragi, Munivarai, Devarai, Sella, Nindra, Yittavara Sangamatul. We have 7 type of birth, 7 type of bodies, groups of bodies like plants, animals, human being, ghost, even stone, mountains. We have 7 types. We will talk about it in future video when we have that opportunity, right? So all these 7 type of body, God give us, God puts our soul into different bodies to explore and to gain knowledge about ignorance in different ways. Not only human body can help us. Every single body has its own emphasized thing to learn. So God gives us everything, all these 7 type of body. So that's been described in the 7 stairs. Then we have 9 stairs. 9 reminds us of the 9 planets. Astrology is the greatest thing, a very primary thing that every Tamil would hang on to, right? So this astrology, all these 9 planets, God created these 9 planets. God actually, he directs that 9 planets how to move, and all this movement reads under the astronomy, and that's how, like, astrology, and that's how we are always scared. We go to the astrologer and he'll say some reading, and then we just get confused and we do more things. And even we get a very precise reading, we will react to that reading. All these things will make us react to something, and that reaction that is karma. Actually, we feed our ego. We always want things to be in favor with us, right? So even that, God will come and reside and make war with that thing just to get rid of our ignorance. So that's like 9 stairs. Then it goes on. These are the most key things that I want to quote about stairs. This is number of stairs. Now we are moving on to the dolls. Dolls, we have 2 type of arrangement. One, we put the most we'll start from the ground. The first level, we put the planter, where like we'll put some 9 type of beans in it, and we'll grow some sprouts out of it. You can see some plants growing. We are very fussy about it. I'll get back to you later about that specifically, right? So we have the plants, so that represents the plants. Then the second level, we will put all the marine life doll. Then we'll put the animals which lives in water and land, like crocodile, frogs, stuff like that, right? Then we have all the animal or living being which lives on land. Then we have animals on sky which can fly. Then we have humankind. Then we have saints, exponents, siddhas and all. Then we have devas like Indran, Chandran, Brahma, Vishnu, whoever. Then on top of that, we have the mother goddess, who is primary to this festival. Then the most top, we have our supreme being. Because we are Saivites, we have the Shivam on top. So what does this shows is the supreme being, again under his kingdom, he takes different forms, and then he blesses each and every level of living beings according to its ability to understand God. So that's been explained. That's how you should arrange Kolu as well. Then the second type of Kolu we see is like no living beings. There's only the top step will have the supreme being Shivam. Then they have mother goddess because of the best festival, and then they just put all the other forms of God. According to Shiva Puranam, we can take the line Yegan, Anegan, God is one, but he takes manifests into so many forms to attract a soul towards him, to enlighten itself, for the soul to acknowledge ignorance, right, and get rid of it in order to get the great bliss from God, to receive the great bliss from God. So in order for that, God takes a lot of form, right? So all the forms you can put in that stairs. That's all. So there's 2 type of Kolu only. What you shouldn't put on Kolu is like, do not put kids cookery toys. I do see like blenders, mixies and stuff like that. They are not meant for that. Then we also shouldn't put any worldly stuff like cars, superbike, dolls and stuff, no. And then we also shouldn't put the feng shui item. I just don't know how that get into our culture, but it's there, so I have to acknowledge it. Don't put the prosperity frog with the coin and the tongue. It belongs to Chinese, it's not for us, so it's not associated with Navaratri. Don't put that lucky what fish is that fish which shows number, flower horn fish, or the long fish. Don't put all that. Don't put Kuan Yin. She has nothing to do with Navaratri, so don't put her. Don't put laughing Buddha. He has nothing to do with our religion, so like we shouldn't put that. Don't put all unwanted dolls there. I already described to you what to put half that and enjoy Navaratri. Lastly, about the planter. So a lot of women, they just go crazy. Everybody get like fever over that planter. If you put the planter, it has to grow or else you are so devastated. Don't take it so don't be too hard on you, because basically this planter shows like it symbolizes it was taken from our ancestors. We have been doing it again and again. We believe that, you know, God doesn't come and talk to you, so we just take a sign that God have blessed us. If these beans were like sprout out and it has grown tall, then it means like God has showered us so much of blessings, that's all. But now in the city lifestyle and all, if I buy 10 plants, the grown plants back from a nursery, trust me, I kill 8 only to survive, because I don't have the skill. We are in the town, we are in the city, we are not really into planting plants, and we really don't know how to handle it, and plants die. So this one is like from a bean, it should like grow, so it's like, and it's only 9 days, right? So it's like, it's a lot of pressure. If it didn't grow, don't worry, it's fine, because we know God, without God we won't even survive a millisecond. So God's been there with us, He's been with us forever, till now, throughout, until we die. So we don't need to like really get fussy or really freaked out over the planter. But if you're really persistent, my advice would be like, get good soil. Trust me, in my city we don't even get good soil. So get good mixture for the soil, put good seeds in it, choose good beans and put it in it. And then when it grows, don't water it every single day until like it doesn't breathe and then it dies off. Don't do that. And don't pile up so many beans into it so it doesn't even have space to grow. Be moderate and don't be too fussy about it. If it grows, good for you. If doesn't, don't worry, try next year, you know. Be happy. Just remind ourselves, like when you do Navaratri, just think about one thing: God is coming and residing within us, and He's been fighting our ignorance day by day. Good or bad, happy or sad moments happening in life, it's only for us to get rid of our very own ignorance. That's all. Happy Navaratri, people. Bye. See you in the next video. Bye.